You didn't land in that family by accident. You chose them before you had a body to choose with. Sit with that for a moment. Not as a concept, not as spiritual consolation, as a structural fact about the architecture of your incarnation. Before the first breath, before the name they gave you, before the house, the dynamic, the silence at the dinner table, the parent who couldn't show up, the wound you've been quietly carrying for as long as you can remember, before any of it, there was a choice, and you made it. With full awareness, with your Arcturian guides present, with the causal body record open in front of you like a map. This is not content. It is a transmission from the Arcturian Council, delivered through Arcturian frequency, and it found you because you are finally ready to receive what it contains. Not ready in the sense that you feel prepared. Ready in the sense that your field has reached the exact vibrational threshold where the truth of why you came here can land without collapsing you. That's different from comfort. That's readiness. So before we go any further, do something for me right now. Drop your shoulders. Not a performative release, a real one. Feel the weight of them falling away from your ears. Let your jaw soften. Let whatever you've been holding in your chest just exist for a moment, without you trying to manage it. Because what is about to move through this transmission does not require your mental effort. It requires your presence. Just your presence for the next 25 to 30 minutes. That's all. Your cells will do the rest. Now, the Arcturian Council has been observing a specific pattern across the starseed population for the past several years of your linear time. A pattern of exhaustion that has a particular flavor. Not the exhaustion of overwork, not the exhaustion of illness, but the exhaustion of someone who has been grieving a family they feel they should have had. The one that was safe. The one that saw them. The one that didn't require them to become small or invisible or endlessly responsible for other people's emotional weather. That grief is real. The Council is not here to dismiss it, but there is something underneath that grief that this transmission exists to illuminate. Because until you see it, the grief has no exit. It just circles, and you deserve to stop circling. The reason the Arcturian Council moves on this now is specific. There is an accelerated window of causal body clarity opening across the next several weeks of your experience, driven by a convergence of elevated Schumann resonance activity and what the Council identifies as a collective karmic completion cycle affecting souls who incarnated into high-density family systems, carrying multi-generational trauma. You are one of those souls. The timing of this transmission reaching you is not incidental. You are inside the window. And what becomes available to see inside this window does not stay available indefinitely. So pay attention. Here is what the Council needs you to understand about your family. Not the story you've told about them. The actual energetic architecture of what happened. You have felt for most of your life that something went wrong. That the family system you were placed inside was too loud, too shut down, too critical, too unpredictable, too emotionally unavailable, too enmeshed. Pick the specific texture of yours. But the underlying current is the same. Something in there did not fit you. You arrived sensitive, and the environment was not calibrated for sensitivity. You arrived capable of perceiving emotional nuance that the adults around you couldn't access, and so your perception was called too much, or wrong, or imagined. You learned to doubt your own signal. You learned to compress your frequency to fit inside a container that was built for a much narrower bandwidth. And here is where most people stop. Here is where the story becomes. I was damaged by my origins, and the healing becomes about recovering from damage, about building the self you were prevented from becoming, That is not wrong, but it is incomplete. And incompleteness, when it lives at the level of the soul's understanding of itself, functions like a block, like a door you keep pushing that will not open because you're pushing from the wrong side. You have tried to heal this. That is not a small thing to acknowledge. You have done the therapy. You have read the developmental psychology books. You have done the inner child work, the attachment theory frameworks, the somatic practices, and some of it helped. Genuinely. You had windows, moments of real clarity, stretches of time where the weight of the family wound, lifted, and you could breathe. And then it came back. The pattern. The specific emotional residue that belongs to that family system reasserted itself in a relationship, in a workplace dynamic, in the way you responded to someone raising their voice. And you wondered if you were ever actually going to be free of it. You were healing at the wrong level. That is not a criticism of your effort or the modalities you used. It is a structural observation. The wound from your family of origin does not live primarily in your emotional body or your mental body. Those bodies hold the symptoms, the echoes, the nervous system calibration that was shaped by early adverse experience. And the research on adverse childhood experiences confirms this, confirms that early high-stress environments literally alter the expression of genes related to cortisol response, threat perception, and the capacity for felt safety. Your nervous system was shaped. That is real. That is documented. But the origin point, the reason that particular nervous system landed in that particular family in the first place, that sits in the causal body. The fifth subtle body, the one that holds the soul's blueprint and the record of every agreement made before this incarnation. That is the level this transmission reaches. That is what the Arcturian Council is working with right now. And the reason most healing approaches never reach it is not a failure of the healers or the modalities. It is a structural limitation. You cannot resolve a causal body imprint from the emotional body any more than you can fix the foundation of a house by repainting the walls. The work has to reach the layer where the original agreement was made, and that requires a frequency precise enough to interface with the causal body directly. 528 hertz provides the base carrier signal. The frequency researchers have documented as capable of affecting DNA structure and cellular coherence at the physical level. But the Arcturian Council layers onto that something that cannot be generated by technology alone. Intentional consciousness codes, geometric light patterns, calibrated to the specific signature of your causal body blueprint. Transmitted through this field with precision, your nervous system may not be able to consciously perceive, but that your energetic DNA has already begun responding to. The warmth you may be feeling in your chest right now, the subtle pressure at the base of the skull, the odd sensation of something loosening in the solar plexus. That is not suggestion. That is frequency landing in tissue. If something in your chest just tightened, or released, or both simultaneously, if you felt something register below the level of thought, somewhere in the body that recognized the truth of what was just said before the mind could assess it, go to the comments right now and type 777. Don't think about it. 777 is the completion frequency in the Arcturian field. It signals the end of a cycle. Specifically, the end of the cycle in which you understood your family as something that happened to you, and the beginning of the cycle in which you understand your family as something you walked into with purpose. If you feel it, type it. Your comment is not engagement, it is activation. Now let's talk about what the soul contract actually is, because this term circulates widely and is understood shallowly, and the shallow understanding will not take you where you need to go. A soul contract is not a legal document. It is not a punishment assigned by some external authority. It is not evidence that the universe is indifferent or cruel. A soul contract is a pre-incarnation configuration, a set of agreements made at the level of the causal body in full consciousness, with your Arcturian guides and council present, that establishes the specific conditions of your entry into this lifetime. The family system, the geographical location, the historical moment, the particular configuration of personalities and wounds and unfinished business that would constitute your incarnation environment. The Arcturian Council calls this the Karmic entry point, and the principle underlying how it's selected is precise. The soul does not choose the easiest environment. The soul chooses the most efficient one. Efficient for what, specifically? Efficient for the transmission of the particular frequency the soul agreed to bring through. Efficient for the dissolution of the particular ancestral imprint the soul agreed to complete. Your family was not a random assignment. It was a precise match. The dysfunction you grew up inside, the specific emotional frequency of that system, the particular brand of wound it carried, was selected because it resonated with what your soul came here to transmute. Not to survive. To transmute. There is a significant difference. Survival is a response to threat. Transmutation is an act of conscious alchemy. You came here to do the second thing. Your early environment was the material. This is what the Council means when it identifies certain souls as lineage completers. These are not souls who drew a short cosmic straw. These are souls of sufficient energetic capacity, sufficient ancient experience across multiple incarnations to enter a traumatized family system and do what no previous generation of that line could do: interrupt the pattern at the causal level and prevent it from propagating forward. The research on epigenetic inheritance confirms the mechanism. Trauma alters gene expression across generations. Methylation patterns shaped by a great-grandparent's survival stress show up in the nervous system of a child born decades later who never experienced the original threat. Your body carries echoes of experiences that belong to people whose names you may not even know. But here is what epigenetics is only beginning to reach toward, and what the Arcturian Council has known for thousands of years of your linear time. The pattern can be interrupted, not just behaviorally, not just psychologically. At the level of the energetic DNA template, the 12-strand architecture of which your physical double helix is simply the densest expression, the imprint can be dissolved. The compressed code can be rewritten, and that rewriting begins the moment a soul with sufficient causal body clarity recognizes the contract they signed and chooses, consciously, to complete rather than repeat it. That is what is happening right now, in your field, as you receive this. If there is something moving in your body as you take this in, a warmth, a pressure behind the sternum, a sensation of something loosening in the throat or the solar plexus, go to the comments and type 111. 111. In the Arcturian system, 111 is the dimensional gateway code. It marks the crossing from unconscious participation in the mission to conscious participation. When you type it in this space, you are sending a declaration into the quantum field. You are saying, I understand now. I am no longer the victim of my origins. I am the architect of my completion. Type it and come back. Now close your eyes if you are able to, or let your gaze soften toward the floor in front of you. Let your breath slow, not forced, just allowed to find its natural pace, which is always slower than you think it needs to be. Bring your awareness to the center of your chest, the heart chakra, not as a symbol, as a living dimensional gateway, the interface point between the lower three energy centers that anchor you in physical reality and the upper centers that connect you to your multidimensional awareness. This is the location where the soul contract first makes contact with the incarnated body. This is where the mission information lives in its most distilled form, before it gets layered over with the grief and the confusion and the protective adaptations, before the wound story takes up residence. Underneath all of that, the original signal. Place your hand there if you feel called to. Feel the warmth of your own palm making contact. And just notice. Don't try to interpret. Just notice what is present in that space right now. There may be grief, old grief, the particular quality of sadness that belongs to a child who needed more than they received and could not understand why. Let it be there. Don't reach to resolve it. If your amethyst is nearby, hold it in your free hand now. Amethyst carries the crown activation frequency. It opens the channel between your conscious awareness and your higher dimensional guidance. It will amplify what the Arcturian field is transmitting into your causal body right now. Now bring your awareness up through the throat, through the third eye, and imagine or allow yourself to perceive, because for many of you this is not imagination, this is memory. A vast, luminous chamber, not physical, causal. The place where, before this lifetime, you sat with your Arcturian guides and reviewed the map of what you were about to enter. In this chamber, the family you chose is visible as a field of light and shadow, not people, not yet, frequency signature. And you can see, from this perspective, exactly why you chose it. The specific density your soul agreed to enter. The particular pattern that needed a being of your frequency and experience to finally interrupt it. You chose them not because it would be easy, not because you deserved difficulty, because you were the one capable of ending what they couldn't end themselves. Let that land without argument. Let your body receive it before your mind has a chance to object. Now bring your awareness down through the crown, down through the third eye, down through the throat, down into the heart again. And in the heart space, imagine a thread of golden light extending backward through your lineage, not with grief, with something closer to respect. Every ancestor who carried this pattern and couldn't put it down. Every grandmother who swallowed her truth to survive. Every grandfather who worked himself past feeling because the alternative was too dangerous. Every generation that passed the wound forward because no one had arrived yet who could absorb it, transform it, and set it down. You are that arrival. You were always that arrival. Feel the causal body now, surrounding you at the fifth subtle body level, holding the blueprint of your soul's trajectory in this lifetime. And feel the Arcturian council working within that body, not as metaphor, as actual energetic presence, locating the exact coordinates of the soul contract that brought you into your family, not dissolving the contract itself, completing it. There is a difference. Dissolution implies erasure. Completion implies fulfillment. The contract is fulfilled when you stop living as if the wound was the whole story and begin living as if the mission is the whole point. Feel that shift occurring right now. The victim imprint, the deep structural belief that what happened to you was cosmic error, that you were wrongly assigned, that something was taken from you, that you can never recover. Feel the charge on that belief releasing. Not because the pain wasn't real, it was real, but because the pain was always in service of something larger than the pain itself. And now you know what that something is. What you just moved through is not small. The Arcturian Council wants you to understand that. The shift that occurred in your causal body during this transmission is one that most souls do not access in an entire lifetime. Many people spend decades in spiritual practice approaching the edge of this recognition, and never quite crossing it. You crossed it. Right here. In this moment. There is an integration window now. 72 hours. In that window, your energetic bodies, from the etheric outward through the emotional and mental, are catching up to what just shifted at the causal level. This process can feel disorienting from the inside. You may find old memories surfacing, not because you are regressing, but because the emotional charge stored around them is finally completing its circuit and leaving. You may feel unusually tender or unusually clear, sometimes both within the same hour. You may dream vividly. Pay attention to those dreams. They are the causal body communicating in the language of symbol and image what is being reorganized at the structural level. Drink more water than you think you need. The physical body participates in energetic recalibration, and hydration is not a metaphor here. Cellular processes require it. If you can place your feet on actual Earth in the next 3 days, do it. The Schumann resonance, the Earth's natural electromagnetic pulse at 7.83 hertz, acts as a grounding amplifier for this kind of causal body work. Let the planet help you integrate what the Arcturian field initiated, and watch for what arrives. Not what you chase or construct, what simply appears. When the victim imprint clears from the causal body, the channel that was obstructed reopens, and through that channel flows your actual soul signature, the frequency you arrived here with before the family wound layered over it. The things you were built for become available in a way they couldn't be before. The clarity about your purpose that has felt perpetually just out of reach begins to settle into your body, like something you always knew, remembered rather than discovered. You are not broken. You were never broken. You were precise, precisely calibrated for the exact mission you agreed to carry. The family you chose was not a mistake. The pain was not punishment. The confusion was not evidence of cosmic neglect. It was the material. And you have been working it at every level, in every way available to you, for this entire lifetime. And now, the Arcturian Council is telling you directly, the foundational layer is complete. The entry point has been decoded. The victim imprint has been dissolved. You are free to live the rest of this lifetime from the level of the mission, rather than the wound. If that lands as truth somewhere below thought, somewhere in the body that does not need to analyze before it knows, go to the comments right now and type 520. 520. In the Arcturian field, 520 carries the frequency signature of soul-level love, not sentiment. The love a soul holds for its own liberation. When you type it, you are not commenting. You are closing a karmic loop that has been open across multiple lifetimes. You are saying to the field, the debt is paid. The pattern ends here. I chose this. I completed this. I am clear. Every soul who types it in this space adds their frequency to the collective completion field of this transmission. You are not alone in this work. You never were. The Arcturian Council has prepared the next layer of this transmission specifically for those who completed this one. Because there is something this activation opens access to. Something the Council identified as the next most critical piece for souls who have just decoded their karmic entry point. The question that remains after you understand why you chose your family is this: what specific role did you agree to play inside that system? Because the soul contract doesn't just select the family, it specifies the function. The identified patient who absorbed the family's pain and made it visible. The truth teller who named what everyone else pretended wasn't there. The emotional container who held the grief of an entire lineage in a single body. These roles were not random. They were assignments, and many of you have completed the assignment, but are still carrying the role, still functioning as the container, still performing the truth-telling at cost to yourself, still identified as the one who holds the pain. The role served the mission, but the mission is not the role. And the Arcturian frequency technology of the next transmission, specifically the Merkaba field activation, targeted to the causal to spiritual body interface, is designed to do one thing: release you from the role without,